Welcome back, folks. All the listeners out there in Edison Report land and Light TED land and Get a Grip on Lighting land. Thank you for listening. We're back. This live stream, Greg, is brought to you by The Rock.
Keystone Tech.
Yeah, KeystoneTech.com. That's KeystoneTech.com, baby. Light made easy, the retrofit kings.
Mhm.
It's Mark, right? Right.
Rocky.
Rocky. You're a council member for
Yes.
NAED.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that.
We're just trying to make the distribution industry for the manufacturers, the distributors, and the contractors a little bit better. So we're trying to integrate the different organizations like NAED. We're trying to work with NECA. We're trying to work with NEMRA. We're trying to work with the manufacturers associations. Just trying to make this channel a little bit better, a little bit more efficient for everybody.
So do you attend all their shows, I assume, and kind of figure that out?
There's representatives from NAD that go to all the shows. So
Okay.
I don't necessarily go to all the shows, but we send people to have those conversations.
And so how many people are on the council?
Right now, our council has 22 in this region, I believe. But we're actually changing our governance model as of May.
Okay.
So we're going to move from 3 regions to 1 region. And that the one council is only going to have max out about 15 people. So we're actually consolidating. As the industry is consolidating, we're consolidating the council, and it's going to be a little bit more nimble, a little bit more effective, and we're going to actually create under the council. We're actually going to create these task force to go after different market segments.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we're talking about having a task force for data, market data, or having to go after digital technologies, or to go after maybe customer segments like commercial contractors or industrial contractors, to try to create these task force to get more done.
Mm.
So no, that's your volunteer job. What's your real job?
Well, I'm one of the owners and general manager of KE Electric Supply.
Okay.
So I kind of oversee the operations of the company.
And where is KE Electric out of?
Our main office is in Mount Clemens, Michigan. I got 3 other locations, so 4 total locations all around Detroit.
Okay. And so you seem really passionate about the council.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about the channel and distribution that really grabs you?
Well, as businesses evolved, not just in the last few years, but we're talking about hundreds of years, distribution as a model has been around literally thousands of years. I mean, you go back to the days of, Egypt, they're bringing in, food, and then they'd have somebody else sell the food. It wasn't necessarily the farmer selling the food. It was, somebody in the marketplace selling the food for the farmer.
Mm-hmm.
So this model has been around for literally thousands of years. And to be honest with you, it hasn't changed much. It's always been kind of the preferred model. And anytime you try to take, one segment out of that model, maybe manufacturers try to go direct to marketplace, or the reps are pulled out of that equation, and the manufacturer going right to the distributors, it seems to not work. That there's always somebody who has a better way of doing it, and it ends up they end up falling on their faces. So this model works. It works. Everybody in the channel makes good money. Everybody's got a job in the channel, and as long as everybody does their job, everybody grows, everybody makes more money, and we can supply some pretty good jobs for people.
So it's proven model. It's never going to, in your opinion, never go away. Like, we're always going to have that.
Amazon's a distributor. That's what they are.
Sure.
They're buying from manufacturers.
No, they're not. They are.
They are, in a sense. They've kind of tried to evolve the model.
Yeah, they're a distributor on the what do they call that? To the fulfilled by Amazon or whatever.
Sure.
Yes, right. So they're more like a third-party logistics warehouse.
Sure.
Than they are a distributor.
Yeah.
And I would say the other thing is that they're like, when you sell on Amazon,
mm-hmm.
your customer is Amazon.
Correct.
The customer is not the person who buys the piece that you sold.
Yeah.
Your customer is actually Amazon.
But isn't that what a manufacturer is? A manufacturer is selling to us, to the distributor.
Right.
And then we're selling it to the marketplace.
Yes. So, right. But in the case of Amazon, my point is that Amazon's the customer. not the person who buys on Amazon.
If a distributor is selling,
Yes,
if
yes.
a distributor is selling to Amazon, then you're absolutely right.
No, selling on Amazon. If you're selling on Amazon, Amazon's your customer.
Then you're absolutely right.
Yes.
I'm talking about manufacturers and to Amazon.
Sure. And you know what? Well, I'll tell you this. It happens all the time under different names.
Correct.
There's just absolutely no question about it. But,
Yeah.
I mean, things change. I think what you said about the model being really old.
Yeah.
That really kind of blew my mind a little
It
bit.
did actually. I haven't heard how many talks have we had?
Yeah, no one said anything like that, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, what you're saying is the idea of the channel is evolved.
Sure. Absolutely.
Like it's a social institution that's evolved
Uh-huh.
over many, many years, many generations of people, and people that want to come in and disrupt the channel usually fail.
Yeah, it's a proven model. It always seems like somebody's got a better idea to do it, how to do it, but I haven't seen one company or one group of people be able to disrupt it to the point where we view distribution as broke. It's not broke. I mean, we need to continue to evolve, continue to grow, continue to be a better partners to one another. But it works. It's a model that works.
Yeah, I think and it's funny because we're lighting distributors.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, electrical distributors sell lighting, but then there's specialty lighting distributors.
Absolutely.
Right. So we're specialty lighting distributors. But you think about it, it's like that business is very regional.
Mm-hmm.
Electrical distribution is also very regional.
Correct.
Like there's people that are strong in a region, like you're strong around Detroit, right? Greg's strong in Minneapolis. I'm strong in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And there's national guys and they're all that sort of stuff, but there still exists this like regional network.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was talking, who's the fellow, Mark McCready was his name?
Yeah. Oh, from over here.
Yeah. He's
Spark
IQ or whatever, Sparks IQ.
Okay.
He was saying how data is going to transform the business. I agree with that, and to a certain extent, that information is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's a very complicated industry.
Yeah.
And the reason why why the channel works is because there's complicated products, there's complicated markets,
Mm-hmm.
there's unique things in every market.
Mm-hmm.
That only distributors in that market can address.
Yes, and the closer you are to those front lines, the better distributor you are. And that's why I'm an independent distributor, and that's why I like the idea of having independent distribution. The big national chains, they do certain things well, but I think the one thing the independent distributor does better is they're really in touch with that marketplace.
For sure.
The people that work in a particular market, like let's say Detroit. We live in Detroit. We live, breathe. We've been through the ups. We've been through the downs. You get somebody from outside of that area, they might not understand the history of Detroit, or for that matter, for me to walk into, let's say, Minneapolis or St. Louis. I don't understand that market.
Mm-hmm.
How would me sitting in Detroit figure out St. Louis?
And it even varies from city to city. Like in Minneapolis, we have suburbs and everything, and you can do certain things here, but you go on that side of the line, you can't do that there.
Yeah, I've got
that stuff you can't know unless you live there.
Yeah, sure.
I've got 4 branches. They're all about 45 minutes to an hour apart, and I have 3 kids. I look at them like kids. They're all different. They're all special.
Mm-hmm.
But they're as different as can be. They're from the same source, from the same company, but they're so different from one another.
That's a great comparison, actually.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, my kids, there's similarities between my kids, but they're so different. Each one, I have 3 of them. Each one of them is different than the other.
I have 3 girls and a boy.
Okay.
And so I don't have the boy to compare, but my girls, they're all totally different, dude.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't have, in my opinion, you couldn't have 3 more different personalities.
Yeah. Almost opposites, but the same.
Yeah, exactly. There's some sort of vein running through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they're just totally different.
Well, twin boys, and they're totally different.
There you go.
I mean, that's great. That's what I got. So,
yeah. But that's how my branches are. I mean, they all act different. I kind of encourage the differences.
Mm-hmm.
The branch
diversity can be a strength in a sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're the branch managers lead differently because they have to.
Sure.
I have some really fantastic,
because they're different people.
Well, they are different people, but but they approach the. I don't ask them to be. There isn't this cookie cutter model where I can say, okay, everybody's got to do this or everybody's got to do that. You just can't do that. So they attack the marketplace a little bit differently, and it's been very, very effective for us.
What percent of your business is lighting?
About a third.
I knew it was going to degenerate back to lighting.
I had to get there.
So we're a big stock and flow house. We do a ton of projects too. About a third of our business is lighting, plus or minus.
What about profit?
Half
the profit, I bet.
No.
See, electrical distributors always mess up lighting. Lighting's super profitable, man.
I know.
Come on,
it's actually,
Rocky.
I'll be honest with you, it's actually become more profitable in the last few years for us.
Yeah.
We've seen the profit margins go up, and it mostly has to do with we're adding some services to our model. We're doing more stage and store, and we're actually getting more money for the stage and stores. We're repackaging, some of these added things. We've also tied into the Detroit Edison, the local energy.
Yeah,
and we're actually giving instant rebates. We figured out how to get instant rebates for people who are buying stock and flow. So a guy walks in, he doesn't want
like on the spot.
On the spot.
Nah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Those programs are beautiful.
And a guy walks in with wants 4 wall packs for a retrofit, and filling out that paperwork is cumbersome for 4 wall packs. But if I can give him that at least 80% of that rebate or 90% of that rebate that he would get
point of sale,
right on the point of sale. I mean, you guys have probably bought, a TV or something in years, and you go into certain places and they give you the rebate right there, or they go in a certain place, you got to fill out that paperwork. You're more apt to buy from the guy that's just giving it to you right then and there.
People want it easy.
Yeah.
People want it easy.
Path of least resistance.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Because there's the time value of money.
Yes.
Right.
And ease of doing business. If it's one less thing I got to do, I mean, we live complicated lives. I mean, there's a lot of noise out there, a lot of things that we.
Well, that's because you got to get rid of the 4 girlfriends. Take it down to 3.
Yeah. I can't handle the one I've got. I don't know how people handle 2.
I don't know that plate spinning. I don't get that, dude.
I can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Come on, man. Oh, dude, that plate spin. I don't know how people do that, dude.
No.
I'm so glad that I'm married to one woman. I love her, Carolina. I love you, sweetie. I'm so happy about that because, I don't understand. Anyway, we're way off topic here.
How long have you guys been in business?
He's plate spinning those branches, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got to juggle that. No, I'm 3rd generation.
Okay.
So we've gone through the transition. My dad's still involved in the business, but he takes lots of vacation. We're very proud of the fact he takes lots of vacation.
Yeah.
My grandfather and his brother started the business back in the 60s. So we've been as a company, we've been in business for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
But
that's like 500,000 hours.
It's like, and in the digital age, it's like 1 million years.
We talk about roots.
Yeah.
Right. So you have roots in Michigan.
Absolutely.
Like deep roots, right? That's 3 generations of a business around Detroit. There's a lot of spirit there. There's a lot of soul in that, man. That's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
And we've talked about internally about, because we're in the construction industry, and Detroit's had a tough go at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
And in recent years, there's been a resurgence. We talk about, we're helping to rebuild Detroit.
Detroit's back.
And there's this a sense of community.
Sure.
Within the company that, hey, that school that we built, your kid might go to that school, or that hospital.
Sure.
Your kid might be born at that hospital. Or you might be next to your mom when she's going, when she's going to pass, or that shopping mall you're going to buy Christmas presents from, or whatever. So, in fact, actually, one of my first, we'll call it real jobs when I was working the sales counter almost 20 years ago, ended up being my kid's elementary school.
That's awesome.
Just by luck or whatever, location. Sure. Yeah. So when my kids were in elementary school, I'd walk the halls and go, I remember that problem. And I remember that problem. Sure. And I remember that problem. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. How long have you been a member of NAED?
Well, I've been working with NAED pretty much since I started in, I'll call it back full time. So I grew up around, the company, stocking shelves at, for Christmas money, my elementary school years.
Yeah.
But I came back full time shortly after 9/11.
Okay.
And I got right into NAD almost right from the get-go.
So they weren't a member previously?
No, we were a member. As a company, we were a member, but I got involved, and our engagement from there skyrocketed. See, we paid dues, but we weren't engaged in NAD. So
there's a power to association.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like the idea. So like we actually we're involved with the National Association of Independent Lighting Distributors.
Mm-hmm.
It's much smaller but similar to NAED. Same mission.
Yeah.
And often people are like, what's the value proposition? What's the payback? This is the kind of stuff we get.
Yeah. ROI.
It's like association is not about what you get; it's about what you give.
Yeah. Yeah, you get what you put into it.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
And sometimes it's not even about sitting in an education session or negotiating with a manufacturer or whatever. Sometimes I'll be walking the hallways and we'll just engage with a friend or a peer in the industry, and they'll give me an idea, and that idea is worth every penny.
It's all the soft stuff.
It's
man.
about what we're doing right here.
Right here. Yeah, yeah.
Just sitting around
Exactly.
talking.
Yeah,
For sure.
but I don't know, like buying groups have a different flavor than associations.
Correct. They both got their place.
Yes.
And I really do think that IMARC, AD, and NAED, they got this.
I'm not against them. That's not what I'm saying.
They work together.
Yes.
As opposed to against each other. They're not
Yes.
competing with one another. They both have their place within what we do.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Wow. Well, Rocky, thank you for what is it? KE Electric.
Yep, KE Electric.
4 branches in Michigan.
Yes.
Check us out.
We should point out the first time Mike's ever been outclassed on a sport coat is right here and now. If you could see that camouflage on there.
That's pretty swanky, man. That's pretty swanky. You want to trade? What size? But you know about The Rock, right?
Yeah.
The Rock is
Rocky
Keystone
knows.
Technologies, man. Go to
Right,
KeystoneTech.com.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the
guys.
show, man. Yep. That's KeystoneTech.com. Thanks for listening. We're very grateful to all you out there. Take care.
Thanks.